So, Sunday's Mother's Day. I made a video about this the other day. I didn't post it. I was a little bit drunk. I am drinking tonight, but I'm not drunk, which is why I'm making this video right now before I get totally wasted. Um, this will be 3 years without my mother. Three Mother's Days, or no, actually 4 Mother's Days. Sorry about that. The first was 2015. She passed away in 2014, so the first was 2015, 2016, 2017. This year. That's 4 years. That alone is a painful thing to sort of come to odds with. Uh, September 25th will be 4 years since she died. September 9th will be 4 birthdays without her. And I don't know, I feel like 4 years is the point where it's hitting me really hard because I'm realizing that next year will be 5 years. And holy shit, 5 years? You know? It's hard to wrap my mind around the fact that this much time has gone by. Um, that much time has passed without her here. That's not an easy thing to process. Next year will be 5 years, and then before I know it, it'll be 6 years, and then 10 years. I can't imagine 10 years. A whole decade without my best friend, without my mother. I can't even begin to process that. I can't even wrap my head around that. The possibility of that. She's been so heavy on my mind lately, and I've been suppressing it. Not her, not really her, but the pain that comes with thinking of her. And not really for the reason that you would imagine. You know, you would probably think that I'm trying to push it down because I don't want to feel it. But it's actually pushing it down because I'm thinking that she was such a, despite all the shit that she put up with, she was such a positive person. And she didn't want her memory to be the cause of pain or distress or agony, which is the way I've been living my life the last 4 years almost. So when you think about her, it comes with a certain level of agony. But I want to think about her. I don't want to forget her. Why would I want to forget her? You know? So I've been trying to think about her. I've been trying to focus on the good memories. But even with the good, everybody always says, think about the good times, think about the good things that happen. Those are pleasant thoughts. But even with the pleasant thoughts, there still comes a certain level of hurt. There still comes a certain level of pain. You can't have one or the other. It doesn't work. You know, it's just a cop out to me that people tell you to do because really, you think about the good times and the good things that happened. It's going to bring a tear to your mind, your eye. No matter what, it's going to happen. You can't. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I've been thinking about a lot of other shit, and some of it is negative shit. But like I said, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. I'm fucking cry if I'm thinking of good shit, and I'll fucking cry if I'm thinking of bad shit. Um, but I've been thinking how stressful life has been, and how bad things have gotten since she passed away, and I've been wondering, you know, how it would affect her to see the way things have turned out 4 years later almost. And what would she be thinking? What is she thinking? Because I believe that she's out there. I believe that she's watching. I can feel her. I feel her every day. I feel her presence all around me. And I feel that she's watching me. And I feel that she is sad because she does see how fucked up things have gotten. And then, there's all kinds of different shit, I mean, important mile markers, landmarks in life, big life events. She missed my wedding, she missed my sister's 8th grade graduation. She's gonna miss her high school graduation. If I ever have kids, which at this point in time I don't want kids. But if I ever do have kids, she's not gonna get the chance to be a grandmother. And let me tell you something. That woman wanted to be a grandmother so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Towards the end, especially when I was in my early 20s, she was 43 years old when she passed away. And I was 25. And my wife, at that point, my girlfriend, I had been together for a long time, since high school, since my senior year of high school. 7 years, I think it was at that point. And I think at that point she was like, you guys are old enough now. You both have a job. At that point, I had a good job. Um, my wife had a good job as well. And things weren't going so great for my mom. And I think she came to a point, and that's the sad part, really, um, where she realized that she didn't have a lot of time left. I hate saying that. I hated talking to her about it back then because she would bring it up so often. And I couldn't stand getting into that conversation. And even now, 4 years later, I can't stand even saying it. But it's true. She knew she didn't have a lot of time left. And she really wanted to have a grandchild. And the funny thing is, too, I'll tell this in another story, but 4 days before she passed away, I had the craziest, most vivid fucking dream of my life. Well, the second most vivid dream of my life, and again, I'll tell the other one in another video, but 4 days before she passed away, I had a dream where I had a kid, and we were all of us, me, my mother, and my wife, my sister, and my grandfather, my grandmother, who's been dead for almost 10 years now, my whole family sitting around at dinner time. And my kid was one of the people at the table. And my mother addressed this little girl by the name that I always said I would call my daughter if I ever had a daughter. Um, you might say, some people might say, oh, it's all up here in the mind frame. Your mom wanted a grandkid, and you told her what you would call your daughter if you ever had a daughter. It's the fact that I had this dream 4 days before my mother died, and it was so fucking vivid. That's what plays on my mind. You know, that's what bothers me, and I'll go into more detail in another video at some point in the future. As well as the second most vivid dream, which also involves my mother, which was about 4 months after she died. It was actually January 1st of 2015. So October, November, December. It was 4 months. Yeah, 4 months after she died. October 1st, 2015. I had a dream where, 2015. I had a dream where, 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. 2015. I saw my mother, and I'll go into that in another video. But my point stands that one of the biggest uh, life events that she's gonna miss is if I ever have a child. She'll never have the opportunity to be a grandparent. And I know how much she wanted to be a grandparent, and I know how important that was to her. And if it ever does happen, it's gonna hurt so bad knowing that she's not here. Fuck all the people that are always saying, oh, she's always there. I get that you're trying to comfort me and shit like that, but it doesn't. You don't know what you're saying, because you're saying it metaphorically or from a certain point of view. You know, um, if there is an afterlife, yeah, she's still here, but it's not the same because she won't actually be here in person, and I can't experience those memories with her here in person with my child and her grandchild. Um, it's a major loss on both ends, and it's the thought of that is very, very painful. And to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons why I don't want to have kids. There are a couple of reasons why I don't want kids, and that is one of the main reasons. Um, but that's neither here nor there. I digress. The main point of this video, Mother's Day, like I said, is this Sunday. I do this every year. You can't see for proof because I've deleted all my old videos recently. But I do this every year, and I like to make a video each year, letting everybody know. Um, People have their conflicts with their parents. They really do. Everybody does. Some are more extreme than others. Some are less extreme. Some people grow into their late 20s, early 30s, and they're still resentful for shit that happened when they were kids with their parents. The point of this is to let you know to let that go on Mother's Day. One day out of each year, unless this person tried to kill you or beat the shit out of you or do something absolutely horrifying to you. And I'm not talking about, fucking making you break up with your first love or what have you, or just being mentally ill and depressed and angry all the time. These are not the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about, if they tried to throw you off a friggin' sliding board like my mother-in-law did to my wife when she was 3 years old, or they tried to drown you in a bathtub. These are reasons why you should want to cut your mother out of your life. I would understand that. But anything other than those reasons, one day out of the year, put aside the bullshit. Be an adult. Buy your mother some fucking flowers. And take her out to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever. Have a barbecue. Bring her ass over. Celebrate the woman who brought you into this life. Because you only got one mother. And when she's gone, she's fucking gone. And I guarantee and goddamn to you. Goddamn to you. Fuck that. I forget what I just said. I guarantee you, you're gonna feel the pain when she's gone. It's gonna fucking stink really bad. I'm running out of time. The point is, celebrate Mother's Day unless they tried to fucking kill you. Enjoy your night.